of those in that aspect.
Okay,
This
my
one you
turn.
don't. For you, though,
I'll forget.
do yours, then I need to address it.
I still say I'd rather my character experience the world through his perceptions of the world and not be drawn upon what his backstory was. Because also, if I had never made up any of those backstories, you wouldn't be drawing on that to add those things to your world anyway.
You accidentally stumbled across 3 things that were going to be included.
If I didn't
So
make
here's
up
the thing.
that
Wait,
backstory,
because
you
that's
wouldn't
perfect.
use the
Wait,
elder
because
god
that's
trying to take you
excuse
over.
me. That's perfect to what
That
I
only
was going to
exists
say.
because of the backstory I made
Hold
up.
on, stop, dude.
Talk to the hand.
Okay.
Which is
What
why
was I
you
gonna
did
say?
what you did.
Stop. What was I gonna say? Okay,
Have you heard of
so
it?
that's the thing.
This isn't rolling yet. I went ahead and hit play on my camera.
Just hit play because I.
Well, I got to document where we start. So
Okay,
say-
then
say- finish your
it
point.
doesn't matter. We'll do
Finish
it
your
after
say
we
your piece and then we'll
let's
talk.
do this
Yeah,
first.
you
I
say
want
you
you to
forget.
Say it.
I
Forgetful
forgot.
who
Okay.
over here.
I'm kidding. I'll think of it, but just give me a second.
Then while you do yours.
No, because that won't let me remember mine.
We're running out of time. Come on.
Bam, do your
Y'all are
thing.
saying this to me after the hours that you've been setting up.
It's working now. Just say it.
Awesome.
Say it. Say it.
Then let's just
Say
do it instead
Just
of
say
talking
the
about
thing you
mine.
wanted to
Just
say. Say the thing you wanted to say.
Say what you mean to say. I have no idea. I have no idea. No, because you have to stop as soon as I get it, and I'm like, hold, wait, because it's going. It's going.
I'm sorry.
Also, we are going to have to be a little quieter because we were redlining the
I
mic
have this
when we
question.
started filming.
It's on the whole, your character's past experience versus removing an ability to have experienced it for yourself. Is
Right.
what you've
I
done.
get your point. Go
But
ahead.
what would be cooler? The fact that you experienced Grax getting that shield of attraction. Or if I had told you it. And it's just a backstory. He had this shield that attracted missiles, or you having lived it as the character, experiencing it, being like, oh no, everything's heading towards me. Which is cooler?
Definitely way cooler, and that's the beauty of like playing Dungeons and Dragons, or even what we did as kids, just running around with swords and stuff. Playing it is always better because it's immersive. That's why people do roleplay. My point that I kind of remember part of was, well, I guess it's 2 things. So playing it, like you're saying, just driving your point home, is always going to be more fun than just telling the story or even watching it. You know, that's why we'd watch a movie about knights and dragons, and that's cool. But then we go out and run around with swords, chasing each other, acting like we're a dragon. It's different.
Bring your chair a little closer.
My knees touch.
So as far we can play footsie. So as far as him having plot points in the story, the novel, or what is it?
Not on camera.
Okay, his super hush hush story about his character, we'll say, and the D&D campaign that you come up with. If some of them intertwine, I have limited experience as a DM. You do most of the DMing, obviously, as we know. He does most of the DMing. I've DM'd a little bit here and there.
When you threw
mostly for
I
myself.
wanted to say.
Mostly for myself, DM, Dungeon Master, D&D stuff, LARPing and whatnot, with dice.
If there's a point in there, let's get to it. It's definitely explaining what D&D is to people. Go ahead and give your
Well,
point.
I don't know, because
give your point. Pretend
don't know.
people know and give your point.
Okay.
Pretend someone has heard of Dungeons and Dragons and give your point.
Unless we go since like the 70s or something. I'm still doing it. Milton Bradley. No. Anyway, that's one of the things that you're really good at and makes the difference is being able to flavor it, as they say. So if he has something in his backstory that you're also playing for him, you just change it a little bit. Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like say his character, one time bought a loaf of bread. And then you had already planned for him to get a loaf of bread.
Let me say what I was going to say. If something that I am working on for my character's backstory, we'll call it, pertains to something that you were going to do inside the campaign, the only reason that you were going to do that thing is because it already connected to the part of the backstory I told you for my character that you already knew. Because you weren't going to make up that thing that you told me fresh. That wasn't going to happen to my guy if his backstory was different. If my guy's backstory was different than it is, that thing wouldn't have happened to him. It happened because of the connections my guy has, I should stop doing that, in his background adjacent to the story.
What happened to Lunaria?
What?
Lunaria.
When?
In Viscera's castle.
A lot of stuff. Rugged's mother. Rugged's
No,
mother.
Not that was The answer is you're wrong. The reason I played into it so heavily is because I've been hitting almost every main character with the exact same elder god trying to get into their heads. Yours played into it so well, I embraced it so much, and making an aspect of your character.
Shy away from details.
Because you had already.
Shy away from details.
You had already played into it. And
Well,
so
that
I
just
ran
makes
with
it better, though.
So
The only reason I had already played into it is because of the backplot I had created for my character. If my character had no backplot, none of that would have been played into. The only reason it worked that way and he behaved the way that he did was because it was adjacent to the character that I created. And being an actor, a thespian, I get very, very into the role. So if I'm playing a role, if it's a character I've been given, I'm created, or I'm a background extra in a movie,
simple question.
I embody that character fully. So if my character had a different background, he would behave differently. There is no metagaming with me. I'm all in on the character.
So everything you have for his backstory, about how many pages would that be?
I mean, no comment.
No, I need around how many?
No comment.
Five,
A lot.
10.
It's a lot. It's 5 or 10.
The limit
It's
is
way
usually
more
two.
than that.
The
It's
limit's
way
2.
more than that.
Most D&D people, the dungeon masters, limited out at 2.
He's
because
read
anything above 2 pages
Right.
He's read a lot of the books.
excessive.
Excessive is a good.
Have you read the
Countless.
Have you read the
Countless
Player's
has a nice
Handbook
ring
of
to it.
Guideline for backgrounds?
You know I don't do
No,
rules.
there's a
You're talking to
standard
Daniel
set,
Day Lewis
it's like
over
5,
here.
I
I
think.
went all in.
Off the top of my head.
I went so in. It's insane. Literally, it's crazy.
Off the top of my head, it's like 5 or so backgrounds that you can choose from. The customized feature is excessively different than your novels.
Okay.
So hold because your background is relatively not important because it's not about your background of a character. It's about what you're creating and playing as you go. See, I have listened to countless hours of horror stories, like Reddit horror stories about D&D players, and they usually start with over 50 pages of backstory.
Right.
So I've listened to so many. I was into D&D months before y'all guys knew, and I listened to so
Months.
many
I think
things.
it's been longer than that.
Before y'all knew I was, before I even told him.
And you want to talk about going over on the back
So-
plot, the character and things I'm bringing in kind of brings back plot to different things that I've made up far before I was ever into Dungeons and Dragons. So,
And I actually was into. I didn't know that you were into it before, like you told me, obviously. But I had a little figure of a little frog dude from D&D, and I actually pretended
showed
it was
me.
like my EverQuest character.
Mm-hmm. You showed me, and I was standing there, I'm like, oh, that's cool. What is that from?
So-
I knew the entire
so
time.
from-
And then it was a clone.
so from the perspective of Matt Mercer, would you prefer the character coming with no back plot?
2-page minimum.
No back plot.
2-page minimum.
So,
I mean, max,
so you want a guy that
Did you say
basically
Daniel
is
Day-Lewis
like
or Dom DeLuise?
Daniel Day-Lewis. So you want a guy
I
that
didn't
is
think you
basically
compared
brain
yourself
dead.
to
That you
Dom
want
DeLuise.
someone that has no past. I
You
lived
see-
I'm Wesley from the farm before the pirate. Like I did nothing. I lived on a farm. I chopped wood
Princess
for 40
Bride.
years, and
No,
now
because
I'm
a
embroiled
brigand
into
is
this.
an option in D&D for a background, but you don't have to explore it and go deep into it. So, yeah, I was a pirate for a bit, and then you continue
Right.
because the thing
Not
about
write a
it-
Russian novel
it's-
about it.
Right, it's not about the backstory. It's about the adventure from
Let's
the
not
point.
tap the table.
It's about the adventure from the point when you're like, okay, you're in a tavern. We don't need 50
Right.
books about what you did before you walked into the tavern.
So in my
Because
mind,
that's not important. Because that's just in your head. But the important part about D&D,
It's not just in my head anymore.
The important part about D&D is what's on the table.
Right. I get
And
where
I
I
feel
get
like
where you're
that's
coming
lost a
from.
little bit.
I get where you're coming from with all of that, and if you would prefer, I can just swap. Like, you know, I can swap out.
No.
Like I'm not gonna scrap what I've done. So, like, I admit that yes, I took the concept of backstory a little far. Probably about as far as you can take it.
I think it's easy to do. Hang on,
because
I think
it's gone way beyond backstory.
It's easy to do because I almost did the same thing. So much so that I realized it was going to be a problem though,
Right.
and created a character away from any campaign. The only campaign I played,
well, that's why I'm thinking like
was by myself.
That's why. Let's not tap the table.
Sorry,
that's why I'm thinking
with
you
myself.
made up the second dude to be like a blank. Because you have. I
And
won't
then
mention your
even
other
in
character,
some of
but I can mention the.
I don't see why you couldn't
wrong guy.
mention. I don't see why any of them are.
You can't mention the first one because it's a thing, so you can't do that.
You said you don't have the copyright yet.
Exactly. But you shouldn't mention that either.
Okay. Anyway,
so maybe what should happen is
I wasn't through.
So the way the
not
context of the character though that like I tell everybody not to tap and I'm doing it. The context of the character that I created and the way that he can format into the game, as long as you're not planning on drawing from things that too closely resemble his backplot, then he can experience the world that you've created freshly.
You've gone so intense on his backstory.
It's not like I'm going to expand everything that could possibly ever happen.
But you've already hit most things that have to do with his race.
What I did, that's
I
true.
can't play anything that I was going to that has to do with
I mean, that's not technically true
background.
because also the world that exists for that race is very far different than the background thing I've
One
created.
thing I did there again.
Actually,
I just kept.
Hang on. Viscera's
very
kingdom.
true. I just kept.
No. Do you remember the glowing foliage on the roof of Viscera's kingdom that drips down the
Also, we can't do the whole podcast this way. We're going to have to shift gears into an actual
Or about
podcast.
D&D, yeah.
It's a D&D
Instead of us
podcast.
having an argument about D&D the entire time.
I don't know how
conversation.
It's a discussion.
It's more like a grudge match. Trying to get a word
But maybe the only thing I could do is make a new guy a blank.
No,
listen.
Continue.
But even if I make the blank, you're not going to use the same plot.
Why do y'all do this? Why did you even invite me onto this podcast? Hey, Gabe, do you want to come listen to Noah and I talk? Sure.
Okay, go for it.
I don't remember. What the heck, guys?
God. Okay, you remember.
It's like wait, no, don't do it to me again. It's like being like a normal guy in a room with like Socrates and Aristotle, but you have like a thought that would be like rational and heard, and it's like, wait.
Yeah, but you're Johnny Bravo and you can't hold on to it, right? Is that the thing?
It's something. Well, you just get talking, and then we're like, reminds me of something else to say, and then it keeps going, and then I think of a joke, and then it's like, well, what was the first thing that I was trying to say?
So do you have a point you want to get to now?
I think I have
ADHD. A lot of acronyms sitting at this table right now. Let's say that.
Let's just focus
no kidding.
on enjoying the game and less about
That's what it was.
About.
So I don't know why it's.
That's also way too loud to be doing that. We can't clap on the podcast.
As soon as Noah speaks, it comes to me.
And then you dilute yourself into not being dilute.
Oh,
into
no!
Not say it. Just say it.
What was
You're doing it to yourself.
Okay, guys, I shouldn't be in this.
You're interrupting yourself.
I shouldn't be in this.
Your face is really red.
I was going to say Noah saying something so
Quick, Noah, talk! Say something important.
Can we focus on the campaign and playing more than what the character's done? Because one of the main...
I'm not focused at all on what the character's done during the campaign. You're very hung up on it. Like, you're very hung up on what he's done. I'm fresh. I'm in it. I'm clapping now. I'm fresh. I'm in it. I'm in the game. I'm there to play. Put me in, coach.
So that's what it was. That's what it was. I basically had two different versions of the same character. Right. So one is in this world where I made up a whole bunch of stuff for all of the things he done, as if it was like a story or an anime, something like that. And then the other one just taking the basis of the character, he's like a burly dude, whatever, and, played some campaigns with Noah with that character, with him DMing. And it was cool because it was like, I was the character, but everything, that he had done, and you could do that as much as, nothing that he's ever done in your story is done, or some of the things that he's done, whatever it is.
Right.
Or he's done everything, and this is just something that happened on the side, because it can be as vague, like, especially with a character like yours, I won't give away any details, but like a big, long story involved could just be a fleeting moment. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, my thing is, let me say this and then we'll get to the actual podcast.
Yeah, because it's getting late.
So my thing is this. I have 2 points to make. The first point is your 2-page backstory rule. Even with that, even if it was just 2 pages.
He's like, I could synopsis a lot.
You would still draw from that 2 pages.
Reader's Digest.
To make what you were talking about. Or you wouldn't draw from it at all. Or you wouldn't draw from it at all because it doesn't pertain. He worked in a tavern. Like, because if I was going to make a blank guy, he worked in a tavern. That's his life. He's been doing this. That's it. He's a small town dude. And that's his life. And then he would get caught up in the adventure and go from there, which actually wouldn't be a bad
that would be kind of
character. Cool. And then he experiences the world. Now, my second point with that is the way it would transpire, that would not affect the ongoing plot because there wouldn't be anything from his backstory to be ongoing unless he needs to, mix a drink. So it wouldn't have any, it wouldn't pertain to the ongoing plot that you've created, if that makes sense. Whereas the other character, you are trying to draw from his created plot, but then complaining that he has a created plot at the same time. But here's the thing, and I get it. You're the DM. It's your game. I'm not being that guy because I'm willing to do it either way. I'll start a fresh guy, put this dude on the back burner, and start a fresh dude and go from there. I've already worked one out in my head. That could be, actually I've got a couple like runner-ups even, that could be the character that we go with in the campaign so that it doesn't dilute your storytelling. Now, if you're going to, in that, inadvertently tell the same story that I've already made up for the other character,
he's a much better dude.
I don't think that's my point. That was my other point. I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
because I think you're underestimating your own Matt Mercer-ness of being able to create that kind of diverse world. Because again, if you go from this campaign to the next campaign to the next campaign, you're going to be drawing on different things, creating different things. You're not going to repeat yourself. The likelihood that you're going to need to repeat yourself, very low. You've put a lot into the worlds and things that you've created, and I don't think anyone you could give someone 10,000 pages of backstory. I don't think that's going to take away from what you've done. I think that character would still be able to experience your world from a fresh point of view because they haven't experienced that yet.
Okay, so
is the thing.
Yours is a special. I'm going to work backwards on those points. Yours is a special.
I was going to say, is that a filibuster? That side, it seemed like a filibuster.
You laughed for longer than I just talked.
Yours is a special situation, and due to it, you've done so much. Yet in this world, you've never slayed a dragon because you're starting at level 1, and level 1s have never slayed a dragon. For instance,
that's what they say,
which is a massive thing to it.
That's what they say in the
correct because.
What do they say?
D&D handbook.
It's not the handbook, isn't it? The
handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide. It's just a typical explanation of you have never slayed a dragon. You're level 1.
Right.
Right. If you've never gone and fought wars, you're level 1.
So can there be
stop, or you haven't, or you couldn't be level 1 because you've already done that, and the experience points you get from slaying a dragon is more than you'd be level 1 for. So what level are you? Moving further back. Yes.
Can I attach to that one? Because I have to ask a question from the DM.
I didn't butt into yours and answer the things you were saying.
Okay, I'll try to hold on to that then.
That's what I've tried to do, and now I'm losing it. So,
they feel my pain.
If you stopped in to someone else's thing and handed them a 5,000-page backstory, they're not going to read it, so they can't put it into the story. Great DM will take your backstory and build it into the story. Not the story around it, but build it into the story. Call back to it. For instance, you're a tavern keep. That's where you started, and then you ended up with these people to go slay this dragon, per se, and take care of that. Well, it just so happens that the Empire is actually moving through, and while you're off slaying the dragon, you hear that your town's been conquered. That town that you said you grew up in, which means your parents are there, the people you know are there, the woman you first kissed is there, and now they're in danger because the Empire has taken that town over, and now you have to go liberate it,
I've just put your nothing backstory into the game, into a campaign, and made you feel for it. That's the difference. Yes, anything you give me, I can put into the backstory and make it part of the campaign. It just so happens sometimes, like with yours, fits so well into what I was already doing for the campaign that had been running about 3 months before he joined it, makes it to where it fits so well, I can just usher it in perfectly, which is also a problem, because now I've done that for every person that's played with me so far, and some people aren't playing with me anymore, which means whole aspects, whole kingdoms that were created to fit into this, which fit so perfectly, are now nothing, and just empty loose leads that are there because we don't have the person who built that around.
Well, I'm not a DM, but I would say that you're possibly drawing too much from people's backplots, and you should you should run your world, and then the characters are part of that world, and it doesn't pertain to who they were or their backplot, would be my first point, working backwards from what you just said. And that way, you, one, don't run into that problem of there being issues with somebody playing or not playing, because your world continues to go on with or without them. And I don't lose things. Your world would continue to play with or without them if you did it that way, instead of drawing too much from people's backgrounds. But also, to touch on your other point about the you've never slayed a dragon, your point was that you've never slayed a dragon because if you had, you would have this, this, and this would be a thing, and you'd be this powerful. But I created, won't go into detail, a reason as to why the character wouldn't be, regardless of what he was prior.
I acknowledge
so that right there would make him, because another reason I did that was because I don't want to start a character necessarily for every campaign. In the next campaign, even if everybody starts at 0, I create a reason why the same guy could have had this adventure and still be 0.
Well, that's
to
actually
start over.
A big thing is the campaign that I've set out isn't we do this campaign, then we move to another world and characters. It's all in the same world, is why I put so much into it.
Right.
Because we'll just continue. And the next campaign is really just the next mission.
Right.
You don't like that?
No, I don't. Right. I mean, I get what you're saying. And also, not to be that guy, I would rather experience the world that you've created and the issues in that world and the adventures within it and the places that story goes, as opposed to it drawing from a backstory for the character that pertaining too much into the world. I would rather explore the world itself and all that encompasses,
right,
in my opinion.
And
because that's where I think that it's really cool, with like the creation of it and the imagination of it and the things, not going into a tavern and knowing the things because it's attached to something or whatever else. The not knowing is what I really like about it, and the having to figure it out.
And what about when the backstory that you've already created that you don't want included matches too closely to what is already happening?
I mean, coincidence.
Okay.
It doesn't matter at that point, because if it's something that you've created absent of knowing anything that pertains to the already created backstory of a character, it's irrelevant. It happens in your campaign. So.
And how are you supposed to know, believe, or trust that I had already made something up from 6 months ago that you just told me tonight? And I sat there and like, okay.
Well, because it's a different take on things that are not wholly original. It's entirely impossible to create a completely original aspect of something that doesn't touch upon any form of anything that's already been created. Because I guarantee you cannot tell me one story, one created aspect of anything, and I mean anything, literally anything that has ever been created, that does not in some way connects to some version of one of Shakespeare's plays.
I think that's actually a fact. I think that's like a scientific fact, actually.
I guess an issue that I'm seeing is one of
I don't
You
know
got
that.
quiet? I think you're falling asleep. We should shift gears and talk podcasts.
Here's the thing.
Because I think we've been recording for like 40 minutes on
you
this.
just acknowledged I'm not talking, and here's why. Because y'all guys like to talk. You say a lot. He says a lot. You say a lot.
Talk a little, talk a little.
He
cheek,
says
cheek.
a lot.
I
try to say something.
I get your point, and it'd be better probably if I just removed my guy and made a guy for the campaign.
And then one of you keeps saying a lot.
Right.
And then he says a lot more. when I'm having a conversation, like, just make one point and then let somebody else talk. I guess that's my point.
That would be preferable if I can address a point as you bring it up, like the one that you just said. For instance, I'd prefer if you did keep the same character. And my only statement to that is there is no other DM on the planet that would be okay with being handed a full novel of a backstory.
Right.
It is one of the biggest things on the horror stories.
You don't sound like you're okay with it. Just saying. Like, you do not, like, you phrase that like I'm the only one that would be okay with it. Matt Mercer would laugh at you. You don't sound like you're okay with it. So it sounds like there's no DM that would be okay with it, is what I'm picking up.
Oh, I want to tell you about the Sardines.
Matt Mercer, feel free to contact us and let us know your opinion about this conversation and where you stand on characters that have massive amounts of backstory and whether it is better to draw from those backstories in your campaign or not. Matt Mercer, feel free to reach out.
Who is he talking to?
I don't know.
Is there somebody over there? No, I'm just kidding. Well, I was just telling Noah the sardines that he gave me that he's planning on taking with him to this trip to Alaska. Not to be ungrateful, but they do actually have scales on them, I've noticed.
I've gotten one.
Quite a few scales.
Scales?
Scales, fish scales.
In a sardine can?
Uh-huh. And they stick to the roof of your mouth and your tongue. And
what, you're supposed to take them out of the can? You're even eating ones that have, like, tomato in them, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to take them out of a tomato sauce in a can and take the little sardine and descale it?
Well, they're just floating around in the tomato
What, a little
sauce.
G.I. Joe knife?
They're just floating around in the tomato sauce.
Serious?
No, yeah. So I wanted to bring
what
that as a
5-year-old made that?
If you're taking those
I've
to
noticed
Alaska,
a terrible brand.
Watch out for the scale.
You might want to change brands of sardines. But I mean, also, you don't have to take a lot of fish to Alaska. You don't have to bring a lot of fish with you.
I don't trust sardines that come in a tall can. It's got to be a flat can. If it's not a flat can, I don't trust it. Seriously, it's the shape of the can.
So, what topic are we swapping to now?
Sounds I don't even know because we've been talking so much D&D that it's like, I don't know. And people might actually enjoy hearing this.
I'm sardine to think we're just rambling.
All right, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed hearing us ramble about D&D and whether or not backstories should be included into campaigns and what is an appropriate amount of backstories. I think we should all have closing arguments. Okay, closing arguments real quickly. Noah, go.
I'd like to finish the closing arguments because I'm the DM.
Ooh. He was holding on to that one.
He's the host.
I should actually close it out because I'm the host.
Do I get to go
first?
But
since I'm the host, I'll be gracious to my guest and I will allow you to close out. So, Gabe, hit us. Gabe has no thoughts in his head, so maybe that's a bad idea.
I was going to say, you just made yourself, you're like, yes, no, I'll give this to you, Gabe. You're out of luck. Yeah.
Closing arguments.
I have
go.
nothing.
Closing arguments. Backstories, campaigns, characters.
D&D is
go.
really, I got it. D&D is really fun. I think that's one of the things that has to be talked about, thought about as far as character, backstory, the whole game, especially from a DM standpoint, from a player standpoint. We're very new to it, and you've been doing it a while, but still, as far as D&D, we're pretty new to it. So I think that's just one of the things of learning. I mean, this is still the first campaign. I know we've done like side campaigns and stuff, but it's still the first campaign. There's going to be a lot of learning. I feel like the next time we do it, it'll be like, all right, we should either do it this way or, I mean, and we might even come back to like the original rules. Like maybe it's set that way for a reason. Maybe you're only given 2 pages of backstory for a reason.
How small of type can I
put? But I think that's my thing. It's really fun. I thought I was gonna be like nerdy, but we've always like played like with sticks and pretended we were knights and stuff. So I've had a lot of fun doing it. I think making up the characters is cool. I delved a little bit too deep in some of mine also. Yeah, my thing is I make a lot of characters. A lot of characters.
I just make one, but one is enough.
To me, it's like, here's this great
I've made
big imaginary world, and it's like, who's that guy?
Right. My closing argument would be simple. I mean, the game is about having fun and immersing yourself into that world. And so it's just about embracing that. And if you need to change the character, put in a different character, sub in somebody, put that guy on the bench, it's all good. Because at the end of the day, you as the DM have put all this thought and effort into it and everything. And though I've put a massive amount of thought and effort into the character, that will exist no matter what, devoid of the campaign anyway. It's not like that's something that will be lost with removing and putting in our character. I don't think that you should, in my closing argument, I don't think that you as the DM should be too caught up into trying to please and make it where it's pliable for everybody to have a good time. And instead, you should focus on just building your campaign, going with it, not being afraid to enforce the rules, and things like that. Because I would rather you just tell me, play a new character if it's going to mess up with the game and if it's going to change it. Because I'm here to play the game. I wouldn't do it if I didn't want to do it. And the cool aspect of it is immersing yourself into a world that somebody's taken that amount of time and effort and everything to create. So that is what I want to do moving forwards. And I want to not take away from that and from your world and from the things that you've put into it and everything.
All right,
and
Mr. Smith, this isn't Washington.
Oh,
filibuster.
Really?
Filibuster. I barely said 3 words.
I just want to play the game and not be the guy that makes it worse for everybody else. Or takes away from it.
Just kidding.
So all good. Now, that's the host's closing. Go.
That's the official end
now,
of the
now
podcast.
we'll hear from the DM.
I spent 4 months.
All right, and that's enough. The show was brought to you today by Dungeons and Dragons.
I spent 4 months doing D&D stuff before I let anyone know because I was concerned that no one would like it or people would think it was dorky or nerdy or any of that stuff. I relish the fact that you're so into it that you're writing a novel about a character that isn't even level 5 yet. I love how many characters you've made because the stories and everything and the world that I've created has inspired you so much that you're like, well, if this is happening in the world, what could this guy be? That is awesome. My only thing is I'm concerned that backstories that you've created will overshadow the story that you haven't experienced yet. So, only thing I would ask is keep playing the character. That's a side ask. But the main thing is focus more on what will happen, not what has happened, and settle for what is happening.
I think we need to play more.
Agreed. Well, there's a reason I have shelves full of D&D stuff.
Let's get the board. Let's do it.
It's just cool that everybody's so into it.
It's fun.
Because to see no one get semi-upset about the thing and stuff, it just shows that your heart's really into it, you enjoy it, and you like the other... hold on.
Computers fall asleep. Ladies and gentlemen, we've lost our microphone.
No, the mic's still going. The computer just stopped for a second.
Oh, okay, never mind. This is a false alarm.
Nobody panic. I think it's really cool that everybody's so into it.
Hey, wait, his was the closing argument. You're saying something else.
I had to tag along to what he was saying.
Always has to have the last word.
I do not always have to have the last word.
He just did it again.
I did not do it again.
Stop.
I don't.
He's incapable.
I am not incapable. I don't have to have the last word.
Even though nobody else is talking, because they made a gesture, he has to say something.
I absolutely do not.
He's doing it for fun.
I'll be heading
It doesn't
back
count.
up.
He's doing it for fun.
I'll be heading to Haynes on the 1st.
I thought you meant right now. He's like, I'm headed to Haynes.
He's like,
I've
I'm
had
had
enough.
enough of you.
Yeah. Like, game over. I'm out tonight. I'm taking my scaly sardines and I am gone.
I didn't want to say. I didn't even finish the can. I didn't want to say that.
All right, we'll talk about the Alaska trip in just a second when we start the actual version of the podcast. Although I have a feeling this might be more entertaining to people. We're gonna stop talking Dungeons and Dragons and arguing with each other, and it's gonna get boring.
Everyone just clicks off. They're like, no.
This will be the one that hits. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's close it out.
How do we close? Is there like a thing?
I don't know. I'm just gonna turn it off.
That's all. Do you have it? Dude,
Not
you should
yet.
have a catchphrase.
I don't have a closing yet.
Wait. You gotta have something.
Turn it off. I don't have a closing.
We should think of something. Wait.
We'll see you next time. Respect the danger.
That's a little... Okay,
The danger respects me.
Only if you respect it first.